Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into some pretty fascinating data from the Optimal Wellness Academy today, and honestly, it might just completely change how you think about weight loss. Because as it turns out, when we step on that bathroom scale every morning, we might be focusing on entirely the wrong metric.
You know how it is, right? We're always pinching our waist and kind of obsessing over what we see in the mirror. But what if I told you the absolute most dangerous fat in your body is completely invisible? It's literally hiding, totally out of sight, and yet it is quietly dictating your daily energy, your longevity, and your overall metabolic health. So today, we're going to unmask that hidden threat.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the Explainer. We're going to cover the hidden threat, a real success story, the 6 pillars of wellness, targeted nutrition, and finally, reclaiming health. Let's get right to it.
Part 1. The hidden threat.
To truly understand what's going on here, we really need to compare two totally different types of fat. On one side, you've got subcutaneous fat. That's the fat sitting right under your skin, the kind you can actually pinch. Think of it kind of like the insulation in the walls of a house. It might change how the house looks, sure, but it serves a basic structural function. But then on the other side, we have visceral fat. This stuff does not sit under the skin. It hides deep inside your abdominal cavity, and it wraps itself super tightly around your vital organs. We're talking your liver, your stomach, your pancreas. So if subcutaneous fat is just wall insulation, visceral fat is like this awful, toxic roommate who secretly moves in and just actively corrodes the pipes and the machinery of your house, like rust. It doesn't just sit there doing nothing. It's actually an active endocrine gland, constantly pumping out inflammatory cytokines and hormones that just throw your entire system into chaos.
So the crucial point is this. When your visceral fat levels spike, it places a massive, immediate burden on those vital organs. Because it's so close to the portal vein, it just dumps free fatty acids and inflammatory agents straight into your liver. So this isn't just about carrying a few extra pounds. This is directly linked to severe, life-altering metabolic consequences. We're talking about a wildly increased risk for type 2 diabetes, severe insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and just living in a constant, draining state of chronic inflammation and fatigue.
Moving on to part 2, a real success story. Now, take a breath because there is actually really good news here. This condition is entirely reversible. And no, you don't need some extreme starvation fad diet to do it. Let's look at this real-world case study documented by the Optimal Wellness Academy. Now, what's really interesting about this organ mapping data is that you can see an incredibly stark difference. In the red zone, you literally have visceral fat practically suffocating the liver and intestines. But then look at the green zone, where the organs are clear and finally healthy. This isn't just some theoretical biology lesson. This is a tangible, documented transformation of a real person's internal biology. Let's break down the exact timeline of this case study. Back in March, this individual started out with a visceral fat index, or VFI, of 12.0. Now that placed them squarely in the high-risk zone, meaning their metabolism and vital organs were under some serious strain. But by July and August, literally just a few months later, their VFI dropped to an 8.0, which is considered a perfectly healthy, optimal level. That is a drop of 4.0 points in the visceral fat index. I really want to emphasize this because this -4 is absolutely the most important metric of success in this entire story. Yes, the person lost 9.5 kilograms of total body weight, and sure, 6.1 kilograms of that was pure fat mass, which is fantastic. But honestly, getting out of that high-risk visceral fat zone and dropping those 4 points is what actually saved their metabolic life.
Which brings us to part 3. The 6 pillars of optimal wellness.
Okay, so how exactly did they achieve such a massive drop in just a few short months? Well, it definitely wasn't a magic quick fix. It was achieved through a really holistic, sustainable lifestyle shift built entirely on these 6 pillars. First up, balanced nutrition, prioritizing really high-quality foods and protein instead of just depriving yourself. Second, hitting 10,000 daily steps. This kind of non-exercise daily movement, it's a relentless fat burner that keeps the body active all day. Third is strength training, specifically using a push-legs pull routine to build and maintain muscle mass, which ensures your metabolism stays revved up 24/7. Fourth, proper hydration, because you've got to flush out those toxins and keep the organs running smoothly. Fifth is quality sleep and recovery. Listen, if you aren't sleeping, your stress hormone cortisol shoots up and that literally encourages your body to store more visceral fat. Sleep is when your hormones finally get to balance out. And finally, number 6, consistency and mindset. It's all about the power of showing up daily rather than striving for perfection. Let's look at